Morning. It is Wednesday, time for another VapeAM. Today, from Heaven Gifts, they sent the Oumier VLS RDA. This little guy has a big deck. It's real tall. That lets you put verticals in it. Stick around. We're going to build it, put some verticals in. Hope all you guys are having a great morning. It's VapeAM. We're gonna do the Oumier VLS RDA. And we're gonna have a good time this morning. Yeah. Thanks, Heaven Gifts. Well, I hope you are all having a great morning. I am Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, Juicy Jones HQ, and I hope every one of you is having a great morning. It is time to do another morning show. Wednesday morning and Saturday morning. We're here every day for 2.5 years or something, and we are shouting out to the people in the audience here. Thank you, everybody who showed up here. Fumigenio, Corey, Naki, Steven, Shane, Josh, Weird Will, Jeremy Fuchs, James, Umogeno, did I say that? Mario, Andrew, everyone. All of you are great. Hope you're having a great morning. Everybody grab a cup of tea. Today, we're going to look at this right here, the Oumier Wasp. It's pretty cool. Got some coils, got some cotton. We're going to put some vertical coils in there. It's got a weird little deck, you'll see. I want to say thank you to everybody and hello and shout out to everybody who's joined us on Discord this month. And that is Red Sun Cherry, Walker Vape, Ed, Fumagino, Marcus Vapes 2.0 Turbo, Omar, Interpeace Thief, OG East Bull, Boris the Soviet Love Hammer, which is a funny name, and I love that. Lake El Pollo Loco, Jesse Steinhardt, sorry about that. Joe Locked Up Vapor, you guys are great. Anyway, we love Discord. Click in the link in the description down there if you want to chat there, thinking and talking. I am just here high in orbit above Seattle, Washington, looking down on my desk here, and I got sent from Heaven Gifts this little guy right here. You can see I even put their logo on the screen to remind you. The VLS RDA. This thing has got a wacky deck, and it is from China. I believe these guys make the Wasp Nano, and RTA, a couple of other things. This thing's very inexpensive right now. Right now is the Chinese New Year, and it'll only be for about another week or so. About next Wednesday or Thursday it's over, but you can get 30% off at Heaven Gifts on almost everything. So this is like $19, 18 something if you use the code that's in the description down there. And of course, make sure that you always use the Juicy Jones HQ code, which doesn't work during the Chinese holiday because it's half as much, but that's 15% off, and that makes the prices at Heaven Gifts really good. And people ask me about that all the time, about why the prices on Heaven Gifts seem higher, and it's because they just build in that they give everybody a code. So look at that. We're going to put some Texas Tough Cotton in it. First, let me tell you what I'm vaping on, because I forgot that I'm so rude. I should do that. You guys all in the audience tell me what you're vaping on too, because I want to know, and we'll take a second here to at least talk about that. I am vaping on my Capo 216 and my Cali RDA with some alienated coils in here. They're looking great with Texas Tough Cotton. And this juice is this really good juice that Rich Jaw, one of our Discord fam, Vape fam, sent me, and it's Brad's Brew. Yummy. And look, it's almost gone. He just sent me that. Look at that, Rich. That is, I vaped all that since he sent me this, it was Thursday, or no, it was Saturday. It got here Saturday. So I have absolutely plowed through that stuff. It is really yummy. But I've also been cheating. I've been putting it into my Capo Squonker, which this Capo Squonker has gone through more juice in a week than almost any other tank I've ever had, because I'm just going through so much juice. Corey says you're only seeing a screenshot. And here I'm talking. Try refreshing your page, buddy, because you should be seeing more. Yeah. All right. And I'm glad to see you. Awesome. That is so yummy. Yeah, this is like a sugar cookie. And longtime viewers will know that that's kind of one of my weakness vapes. And I just love sugar cookies, like a basic vanilla cake. I also have some stuff called Latizza from some friends out in the peninsula. It's really good. It's similar. I got some groovy coils that I found here on my desk. I don't know where these are from, but they look good and they're homemade. So I must have gotten them pretty recently because this is clean. So I got these somewhere around December. They could be from Dan Alienated Coils. They handed them to me, or they could be from somebody else. I thought they were Dan's. And we use Texas Tough Quick Wicks Juicy Wicks. just so everybody knows, everybody always asks me, I always use Texas Tough Quick Wicks, Juicy Wicks. We just did a massive giveaway of this stuff, and I gave away 3 full packs of this, of all different varieties. But just so you guys know, this is my guy. So here we are. Look at that nice presentation. Am I right? That's like a terrific presentation in the box. Let me adjust the focus so we can get that up here. I got the wrong tab up, sorry. It looks absolutely excellent. Turn the lights up just a little bit. You guys can get excited. And I will go around the box for you. You know, nobody really cares. Scratch and sniff. Code. Oumier Vapor, Oumier Official. Oh, I didn't have that before. So I'm clicking here on my Instagram. I'm searching for Oumier Official. There's one called Oumier Vape, but that's not right. Here we are. Maybe there's both of them. I don't know. That's confusing though, guys. Just so you know. Nice RDA box. This is a pretty nice presentation. It came shrink wrapped. Oumier. Tenzin Oumier Technology Limited. Not suitable for little disclaimers. Got some certifications. Open the box back up. All right, so the RDA itself is a beautiful presentation. Looks good. It's a little bit fussy looking to me because of the silver top, but I think it looks really great. We're going to take a super close look at this. I'll just put it on the vape nut stand for now. If you guys don't know about vape nut stands, they're fantastic. VapeAM, but it's got underscores around it. That's the. I'm going to pull open the box, take out a little tray. Here's the kit that we get. We get a little manual. It has some detailed instructions in here for y'all. Hey, Corey Rosen, this is your first live show. That's so great. Okay, let's get our Teddy Grahams with marshmallow and cake batter. That's great. Delicious. So capacity, looks like the measurement here is 38 by 24 by 19. And let's just do a quick verification of that because we can. Got my cheap caliper here, or micrometer, whatever you like to call it. Both. Popped right up against that thing, and I'm getting 24 millimeters. Yep, that 04 is probably within my tolerance of error. The top measurement was up to the drip tip, so that's 38 millimeters. We're going to check that out. Why did I do that? 0. I think they're counting the drip tip, aren't they? Well, it's 32. And the measurement says 38 millimeters from the top to the bottom, but it's not. It's only 27 and a half. And it's 32 from the bottom of the drip tip to the top. They got their own measurements wrong. Interesting, isn't it? Isn't it fun that we check these things? So they say that's 7 millimeters, and it's about 6 millimeters. They said it was 7.5. So the overall height of this thing still, even if the overall height of the entire thing is about 38 millimeters. And they indicate that just from the bottom tray to the top of the drip tip is 38 millimeters. So they just made a mistake in that graphic. It needs to go to the top. It's an overall height. So 38 total with their drip tip. That it's a 19 millimeter drip tip on a 24 millimeter Addy. And that drip tip is actually 18 millimeters. So their measurements are not right. Very inaccurate, but whatever, not too much harm. But if you looked at this and were relying on those specs, the diameter is right. So that's okay. The first vertical coil, horizontal coil, single coil, dual coil suitable atomizer. Is it the first one? Okay. 5-hole air plug, replaceable. We're going to put the squonker pin in. Structure diagram. The 5-hole air system, which is just an air hole system with holes. And then there is their idea of what you should do with your verticals. They suggest that you put them outside. That's interesting. You know what? That's interesting. That's more interesting than the diagram that's on the website. So if you're curious about that stuff, I think we may follow this instead of the one that's on the website. Different kinds of coils, stacking coils, fill from, and they want you to do this. All right. And this is nice. They give you instructions on how to open up the bottom, which I'll show you. The whole thing in Chinese. That's killer. So we got instructions. We got some cotton with a decal on it that is already, that's weird. You could use this decal now. So I guess it's sort of a wrinkly decal. And the kit. Let's take a close look at the kit here. Put the manual back in the box. So one piece of this kit we definitely need. You'll see that it's got O-rings, a bottom feeding pin, spare grubs, some cool looking coils, and one of these useless screwdrivers. These are terrible screwdrivers. I know they look cool, but they're actually horrible. If you use one once, you'll see why they're bad. You can't get very good twisty. It's better to have one with a long handle. They're good in the pinch, good for your pocket, good for your kit, but I don't carry them either. And here is what you get in the kit here, the extras pack. It is the obligatory O-rings, which is nice. And then parts of this we're going to use. We're going to use these coils. Why not? They look nice. They're like super shiny. We won't even use the ones I picked out. I'll just use the ones that came with it. We're going to trade out the bottom feed pin. And it looks like they've included spare pins for each of the two different kinds of fastener on the deck. And you'll see the deck is maybe some would say overcomplicated, but you guys haven't seen it yet, but we're getting there. Hey, I've got to have some suspense, don't I? Okay, so I'm putting that back in there. I'm just gonna get rid of this tool because I really hate them. And that's going back in there for now. And actually, I've got to leave it open because we're going to take this off. Before we do anything, we're trading out the bottom feed pin. We're going to use this as a squonker on my Capo 216. But this will give us a chance to show you a few things. First of all, here's the bottom and the 510. Pretty plain Jane. It's good though. So far this package, overall, the presentation has been adequate, definitely. Feels good. It's got an insulator there, a little tiny 510. They put the default one in. I'm going to put the regular one back into the kit, seal that up, and then put it in the box. Because we're going to use this as a squonker for the near future. I'm not a fan of squonkers that use a flathead screw. I think you should use Allen because e-liquid can leak through that, especially look how tiny that hole is. It's okay, but it's not like the one that's on the mother chip, which is the Cali. And you'll notice there's a dry spot under the Cali and then around it is misty because of the way I vape. So look at the size of the squonk on that and just compare them. It's quite different. The Cali is easily double. So that's going to be an issue, or it could is a potential issue. Good morning, everybody, by the way. If you're just tuning in, I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and we are just going through opening, boxing, unboxing, and building on this little guy, the VLS RDA by Oumier. This is VapeAM, the Morning Vape Show, the only one in the universe, and if there's another one, it isn't as good as this one. I tell you. So let me set that aside, and let's look at this. So now it's time for some porn. Now remember, I've had this in the ultrasonic cleaner, so just so you know that. First of all, there's the bottom. My number is 11101, so it's either number 1 or number 101 or number 1101. And it's got, like it said 19 millimeters, but it turns out it was 17. And you'll see that the top cap is sort of one piece, but they've inserted that little piece of, it looks like plastic. I mean, I don't know, it could be metal. but I'm honestly not sure. I'm not wild about how that looks, but it is kind of cool. Okay, I like personally the all clear look, but on the other hand, this thing has a pretty cool sci-fi look. It's got a little Egyptian hieroglyphic on the bottom there. I'm not sure what that is. These are your 5 air holes. These go right through the posts into the deck, which I'm going to show you. We've already put our squonk pin in. So that's tight, tight, tight. And I'll tell you that when I got this, 510 was really tight. So just as a matter of reference for you, I put that guy away. And now we're going to open up the actual atomizer. Let's take off the top cap after we take a close look at it. It looks good, doesn't it? All right. Omar is saying it is restricted. I do not know. And I haven't sort of inhaled through it yet. Yeah, it is restricted there for sure. And we'll look at it quite a bit more here in a minute. I personally like a little bit of restriction. And remember the condensation on side here, this is from my ultrasonic cleaner. This is not from it. If you see this, make sure that you, oops, I hit the mic. There it is. And like I said, this condensation is from my ultrasonic. So the return, anything that comes to you wet. That is the actual deck. So this is the top cap. It's one piece, but I had to take a look at it several times. They're drilled all the way through thickly here, and it just has a bezel right there. And that lines up with the bottom of the deck. And it's fairly simple. It's got an internal O-ring there for friction fit 810s. It is 810 size. This is the one that comes with it, and ostensibly more will fit, and we'll check that here in a few minutes. This is the actual atomizer. Shane says he wants a good airflow single coil RDA. Maintenance is so quick on the single, but we haven't found one yet. Shane Smith, I suggest the Pulse 24 if you need a lot of airflow, or just the Pulse. Just so you guys know, I've unscrewed these right here, but these are simple, very simple grubs. These lay-in posts. This one's a big flatty. Those are real wide and long. You can throw stuff into the side and pull it in there and cut it. Feels like stainless steel. It feels like it might be chromed or something. It's kind of strange and cool. They're huge blocks. It feels like almost a little bit unnecessarily massive. But they might have done that to control the airflow or something. I'm not sure. But here is the deal with making vertical coils. The reason why it is easy to do is because this is reverse threaded. They have 3 O-rings, which is a way to control the mess, which is really good. But see, you reverse thread that off and the whole thing comes apart just like that, which is so cool. A little bit of a dab there. Yeah, there we go. So now it's easy to wick your vertical coils. They'll come out the bottom here in this big hole. I think personally, my first impression of this is that the deck is way too tall. So personally, my first advice to them is to make this deck thickness about 1/3 of that. Just way too tall on here, because we're talking about squonking, all right? And remember that it's reverse threaded. So yeah, Shane Smith, the Pulse is easy and pretty good, and you can put a single or a double on the 24, and the 22 is just for singles. Just real solid. It's a little bit weepy, but you won't mind. Okay, so it's reverse threaded, so I have to put it on this way a little bit just to find the thread and then go that way. There we go. So reverse threaded. And make sure you get that tight. The problem with this is that when you put it on your atomizer, it might be easy to take that all apart, because if the O-rings are dry and you put this cap on and you turn it like that, look, it comes apart. Like that would be an absolute disaster. Well, they did that so that when you take it off, it doesn't unscrew itself. So I recommend that we tighten the crap out of that after we do our build. First, let's do a build, y'all. I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. Let me just refocus. I'm not going to make you look at that, of course. Cruel. Cruel and unusual. All right. The idea was just to grab these little guys. And like I said, these came with it. Let's measure what their diameter is. The bit in here is 3, so these are 3mm that fit right in. Corey, never seen 3 O-rings in a deck. I have, but it's not very common. And we're going to put this in here vertically. That's what we're going to do here. I have to just sort of suss out in my mind. It's going to be easy. Look at that. You see how easy that is? They cut these coils exactly right. Like, that fits directly in there. So all I'm doing is setting this down in here with my bit down in here flat. In fact, I'm going to take this bit out of this Coil Master thing because I don't need the handle and it gets in the way a little bit for the video. And I'm just going to set that bit in there like that. And you see that all I did was adjust the coil. We're going to set it right where it goes. The width of the coil that they've given us that works perfectly here, a lot of people are going to want to know that, is this is a 5 wrap. Focus up a little closer. That's a 5 wrap. Probably Kanthal. I'm not sure. I'll look up what it's made of in a second. Make sure we zero out. And it looks like the width between the posts comes out to just about, doesn't need to be exact, about 6 millimeters. So a 6 millimeter coil is going to nearly fit. That's what this is. 6 millimeters is going to fit nearly perfectly inside that vertical inside here. We're looking at right there. Back to the focus on the bottom. So this is a 3 millimeter diameter 5 wrap that's got a 6 millimeter overall width, just so you know. I'm going to try to just center it in there. You see what I'm doing? Cramming it down. This takes a small flathead to set these. Really a no-brainer. That's really super easy, honestly. It's nothing to it. In fact, I don't really have to do anything. This bit doesn't really even need to be in here because these sort of fit in here. They were made with enough lead to where it's no problem. I always like to try the coils that come with the atomizer. And I always, obviously, put other kinds of stuff in there. But, you know, you guys buy these things and get them, and then it'll have these coils, and you may use them. So I always like to know whether I can say toss them or not. They have at least gone to the effort to make sure that the sizes are right on this. There we go. Oh, Mark's chiming in about the ghoul, which I was choosing between this and the ghoul to do. We are going to open the ghoul soon. Not sure when. Sometime. Quickly. Gonna switch to my right hand. Which one am I doing? That one. Okay. That one is a little bit long. I didn't push it through all the way, so I'm going to loosen it just a little bit. Push it through a little bit. Even use my left hand to tighten this. Oh my god! What do I do? No. Need to get more of that lead in there. This one is symmetrical to the other side. Like. Alright, I'm just cranking those down. And then we're going to put this on a mod. We're going to start massaging them. Do the top ones. Pretty good. These are easy. I'm concerned about that reverse threaded bottom there coming loose a little bit, but not too much yet. I just grab my clippers. I left on the floor over there for some reason in my pack. There it is. Trim. Put my thumb over those ends so they don't fly all over the room. This is extremely easy to trim, I gotta say. Having no problem because all of the leads are well outside the inside of this thing. Two, got one right there. One more right there. Okay. So for now, here's what we look like. Just as a start, so far so good. First try. Gonna put this on a mod, move them around. I'm probably gonna try to bust them out of this, the outsides here for the airflow, but I'm not sure. I actually think this design looks a little bit wonky. Like, to me, the deck looks too high. It's so high, even for squonking. That's just one of those ones that the vertical height is just too great. It ought to really be lower. I could push those coils lower, but I think they really need to work on shrinking this down as short as they can, or making the thickness of that thing, a lot more svelte, trimmed. Because I don't see the point of coming into here except for the dual coils, so these are going to have to get moved quite a bit. At the very least out. Then we're going down too. Just using my fingernails at this moment. There we go. I used isometric tension to lower it. Meaning I pulled out and down at the same time. So, yeah, there we go. We lowered that quite a bit. It really needs it. And after I get the coils firing well, there's more I can do to lower them a little. Oh, and here on camera here, it's a little bit confusing. Josh Weiss, how many wraps is Dan doing his coils? It's as many as you want. 5 or 6 or 7. 5 or 6 of them. All right, so we're going down. Low as we can go. It's pretty, yeah, not bad. I'm gonna take a vape here. Sip my delicious liquid sunshine. Good morning to all of you. I hope you're having a great morning. I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. Today, we're opening up this Oumier VLS RDA that Heaven Gift sent me. And you're doing it with me. Good morning. So, we've got our verticals in. I moved them around to the outside like I talked about because I'd rather have, because the airflow, I may just go to the side here and turn it and have the airflow come straight in the side all the way open. It isn't extremely flexible because the top cap doesn't have 2 layers here. It only has a restriction sort of there. You still can't go all the way down. But anyway. Yeah, this thing is sort of just gimmicky, honestly. But I do like this setup. This is handy. We're going to put a couple of rounds of cotton through it. Not going to be too tough. I guess I'll get on the vape nut stand here. We'll refocus. To open this because I was laughing to myself. I mailed out a prize to Stephen Y, and it was a whole set of this stuff and some juice. And thank you, Van Gogh Vapes, by the way, for providing the juice for that giveaway. And I looked down at my desk this morning and I had this brand new pack of the Juicy Wicks, and I realized I sent him my opened one, but there was only one strand. missing, sadly. I posted a little info thing about Juicy Wicks yesterday on my Instagram if you're interested. I love this stuff. This is Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks, which is extremely combed and cut into these pre-cut little pieces that are so handy. What we're going to do is we're going to put 3mm rounds through these guys. Oh, Fumogeno, thank you. Fire it, he says. Duh. Fire it. You guys are so funny. You guys are the best. Thank you for reminding me. I always forget to do that. I always forget to do that because it's just easy to forget. Okay, so this goes on backwards. Good, it's good to have friends to remind you of stuff. We're here to remind you also to click that like button and to make sure that you click on the little bell, subscribe, and click on the bell, and you'll get notification about when we go live, which is every Saturday. Go. Oh, it says we're a team. It's true. I don't like how it's difficult to sort of crank that down and tighten it. Because when I tighten it down to here, it's going to loosen again. But idea, something to do. Okay, so did we get a reading? 0.22. So that came out to 0.22. This is definitely not like a huge cloud chasing thing. I'm going to turn this down. It's on 77 watts. I'm going to put it down on like 30. And then we're going to do a few pulses. Yeah, definitely a single one. In the comments, Chris and Fumogeno were talking about singles. Yeah, definitely in the diagrams, a single coil is one of the major ones they have. In the diagrams, they have 2 coils stacked here, 2 coils on the outside vertically, 1 coil vertically here, 1 coil on the outside. That's what they've done, just in their pictures. And I could easily see doing 4. Can't you guys? Do 4, right? Smaller. Okay. These look nice. These coils, I'll give them some credit. Retighten everything because they're not firing perfectly evenly yet. Always tighten like crazy. I'm just making sure it's a flat. I hate flatheads. See, it's coming loose as I tighten it. Ow, that's warm. Sorry if I yelled a little loud there. Tight, tight, tight. Tight, tight. All right. Now, where's my bit? This little buddy. Just scraping a little bit, just moving some electrons around. It's cool that we have access to both sides of the coil. That's rare. They're pretty good. We're not there yet, but they're getting there. They're almost even. And it's going to be pretty cool to have them on the outside. I'll put the air down there. It'll be easy to wick. My first thought was that it'd be tough to wick because you can't get at the bottom, but they've made it so it disassembles. Josh Weist, how's my... It isn't a 3rd degree, it's a 2nd degree burn. There it is right there. It's healing. I had to put off getting my manicure. That's why my nails are so long. In case you guys are wondering. Not bad. We're living with it. Yep. Too shabby. So now we're going to wait for this to cool off just a little bit before we wick it, because as it is now, it's just going to iron cotton. Cannot catch on fire. They look pretty good, don't they? Flowy. Josh Weeks, prefer Nichrome 80 or stainless steel? I prefer Kanthal the most. Then after that, probably Nichrome 80 and then stainless steel, but I like them all. I mean, good coils are great, and for me, it's just the resistances. My favorite resistances are a little higher, so I like about 0.12 to about 0.25, or actually all the way up. I used to have a series build that was a 0.6. It was, but I also like it low. Like my pulse right here is at 0.08. Where it is, it's sitting right here. Hello, pulse. There's my little doily. Pulse is messy underneath sometimes. Corey Rosen says there doesn't seem to be much room to pull cotton through the top. And yes, that's what we're getting at, is the cool candy surprise here in the center, is that in a second, you're going to see that, actually you must have missed the disassembly, but you can actually access the bottom that goes through there. We're going to take this apart and wick right through there, but this is two pieces. I'm only not doing it now because it's really hot. Really hot. There we go. So that's another thing, is you have to wait when you wick because that's really hot. Like you gotta wait. So yeah, we're gonna push these right through here, trim them down so they just touch here, and then cut the tops out. Oh, thank goodness you guys told me that. It reminded me. There's Ichi Bear telling me to go low. That is still tricky. I'll try going in from the bottom up. I missed the hole. Here we go. And I used a little bit too much, or I watered it up wrong on the end. Shot. Gotta really do a job here. Okay, we're in like Flynn. So we don't need much back there. We're going to trim it right there. We're going to trim it on top. That's what we're going to do. That's it. At least it's pretty clear how much you need. You're going to see if my U-turn technique works. Appears to. Cool thing about the U-turn technique here is that you can literally just chop it right there. So that's good. All right, so this is not hard to build. I mean, not so far anyway. There we have our plug. It's gonna be a nightmare. It's too much. Well, we'll see. Basically a giant RTA, but it just isn't gonna have, I don't think it's gonna have enough juice flow to be that great. Although this is gonna be a lower wattage build, so it may work. So I'm going right through the middle. Right there. And I made a little mess with that. But with verticals, you don't want all the stuff on top. Just a big mess. You do. I'm going to separate these, chop them off almost at the top, not quite. They'll have a little tuft. A little tuft to love. There we go. Tuft to love. And if you get concerned about the shape of it or whatever, you can change it. It's not super important. I may need to do that, pull them through a little bit and just get more actual material on top. What this is for is just to catch residual vape. This is not, got no other function than that. You can kind of hear it. Okay, there's our wheat stacks. All trimmed up. There it is. I'm not a big fan of vertical coils in general. All right. Hey, Robbie, good to see you. Shout out. Let's get this thing tightened up real tight. It's important to tighten the crap out of this, but it's difficult with just your hands and finger tight because this is all slick stainless steel, even with the burnt knurling or texture that's supposedly in there. So we have a squonk pin. In comes the squonking. I'm not sure how deep the well is. Oh, there it is. I see it coming up now. Yep, it's about full down there now. So this is such a slow, agonizing process. This is really, I mean, all cotton, this is the slowest thing. That's one reason I hate vertical coils unless they're right at the bottom. If you know what, I would rebuild this and do it right at the mother-licking bottom of this thing. Next time, use all the extra lead link to lower that thing down to here and let the air hit the top of the coil, because it's just going to work better. But we'll keep on going. These coils look nice. They're probably going to work fine. Just giving this the old soaky. Hope it's leaking out just a little bit because of the way I'm manhandling the squonk button. Oh, you're supposed to take your thumb off of the squonk button. Funny because I never drip anymore. Oh God, this stuff smells good. I never drip anymore. Squonk with this capo. It's only been a couple of weeks too. It's like a new transition for me. I resisted squonking until I got this thing. This thing I love. All right, so another thing I'm going to do is fluff the cotton up a little bit more in the base. Yeah. Just slightly. I'm not sure it all needs to be just in that little square, but that little square is too low. Way too low. Like dump this all over my hands. All right, here we go. Yeah, so we need to spread the cotton out inside the base here, because not having done that, it's just floating around. That's one thing I don't like about tall squonk decks, is that your cotton at the bottom just ends up being an absorber for cleaning up the extra juice, not really for delivering it. It doesn't actually get up to the coil. It takes forever for that. You have to get the whole system working sort of as a system for that to work. But it has to stay saturated all the time down there, meaning that you're basically always over squonking. But let's see, it's time for a vape. Am I right? Should I shut up and vape? My idea is to vape here with the air there and not coming in the inside, but we'll try both all together. And we'll figure out a wattage for this too, because I'm not exactly sure. Hi. I switched cameras. Right. But there's no flavor. Okay, a little more flavor. Chris Denton mentioned Scottish roll in vertical wicks, but that's not faster. In fact, you can't do any better than this Juicy Wicks as far as the juice retention and the little air pockets between and all that, because this has been so carefully combed and stuff. The Moochie's nice and it's romantic, but it's not actually the best at doing it. It is good. It also wears out really fast. The trick to this vertical coil business is do them really, really short, because look how long it takes for it to squeeze back up. Like, it's fine now again, right? But it was just kind of like drying out. And here's another trick too. Don't run huge coils in this either. I mean, you certainly could, maybe a single, but I'm only going at 62 watts. Hey, Cracker Coils, how are you? I'm really not blown away by the flavor on this thing. It's cool. But look at this. Look at that. That's the top cap. Look at that. It doesn't even really fit. Wow, really? So there's a few things that are just kind of weird about this so far. The flavor got a little bit better when and look, see, Chris, I'm sure you're right. Like, I'm sure that your Scottish roll works fine on this because I have a feeling you're probably not vaping on big, like 3mm super hot aliens or something. Because right here at 60 watts, we're keeping up. Or is that the case? This airflow, we'll try that. Turbulent, bad. It's got a weird slurp when you go through those air holes. They also don't line up exactly. Look at that. Like they only almost line up. So this thing is a little bit chintzy. Just a little. But it's better. I mean, it's wet, but it's just not killer flavor. It's not like my Cali or even like the Twisted Messes. Good airflow wide open. You can sort of restrict it by going sideways so the air is going in there towards the coil and move it around that way. This airflow I'm not wild about. Yeah, although I don't have a single yet, you know, I could put a single in this later and we'll see. And so there you go. We're vaping. I think it's okay. This thing looks cool. Comes in a great package. It's very inexpensive. It's got a risky deck. They're trying to do something new. I think that maybe the deck is a little bit too thick on the inside there. This reverse threading makes me nervous for when I unscrew this and the whole thing comes off. Although that hasn't been a problem yet. That is a little bit weird that just doesn't quite fit. They should just tighten that up and that these don't line up. But I don't like these air holes. This airflow works pretty good. The top cap is all right. I don't like that the drip tip extends down into it just a little. Oh no, does it? Nope, it's fine. It's flush. But it doesn't fit that well. And I think they should reduce the overall amount of metal in there because I'm concerned about the heat too. So for an inexpensive throwaway one, it's okay, but it's not really a star level player. For single coils, for funny builds, for looking cool, for maybe a B atomizer or a C atomizer, yeah. But not top shelf. But it's inexpensive. It's great. I want to thank Heaven Gifts for doing this. You guys are great. I love Heaven Gifts. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in too. Make sure you click on that like button, click on the subscribe button, and then click on that little bell so you get dongs every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 o'clock. We're live right here on YouTube at Juicy Jones HQ, Orbital Vaping Headquarters. We're also on Instagram everywhere and on Vaffle too. Check that out. Vaffle, the only app just for vapors. All those links are in the description, and join us on Discord. That's where we are all the time. Love you guys. We're going to come back and chat here after the live thing, and we're going to wrap this one up. Thanks again, everybody.